Hello friends, this is Palavrinha. Today I'm bringing you guys an Enhancement Shaman guide for Dragonflight 10.2, the Emerald Dream episode. We start covering gear, then stats, then talents, and then last but not least the rotation itself. For gearing, we'll be looking for tier set pieces, of course. And by the way, here's how our current tier set works. For the 2-piece set bonus, every time we cast Primordial Wave, we summon one Feral Spirit to help us with damage. And for the 4-piece set bonus, every time we summon a Feral Spirit, it reduces our Primordial Wave cooldown on 7 seconds. So doing the math real quick, we can reduce our P-Wave cooldown on a total of 21 seconds. So it's one Feral Spirit on P-Wave cast and 2 more on the Feral Spirit's cast itself. So our P-Wave originally with 40 seconds cooldown, we can make it to 24 seconds only, which will make our rotation much more fluid, and of course it will increase our damage. Talents. Of course, they are all important and I highly suggest you guys to read them all, but I'll show you here the more important ones and give it a quick overview on those. First, improved raging and overflowing maelstrom, which will make our spenders hit harder and allows us to store up to 10 stacks of maelstrom weapon stacks. Second, hailstorm. Every time we spend Maelstrom weapon stacks, for each of it will buff our next frost shock damage on 15% up to 150 for 10 stacks consumed. Also, we have Ice Strike, which generates 1 stack of Maelstrom weapon and more importantly makes our next frost shock hit 100% harder. Moving on, Flame Shock and Lava Lash related talents, and they are Molten Assault, which will make us able to spread our Flame Shock dots by Lava Lashing enemies who already have it, up to 4 enemies near the target. Hot Hands, as an 8-second buff with 40% extra damage and 75% reduced cooldown time on Lava Lash. Ashen Catalyst, where each tick of Flame Shock increases our next Lava Lash damage by 12% and reduces the cooldown of it by 0.5 seconds. And Lashing Flames, which is a 20 seconds debuff that increases the damage of the Flame Shock on this target for 100%. Finally, the Primordial Wave and Feral Spirit's talents. Witch Doctor's Ancestry reduces the cooldown of our Feral Spirits for 2 seconds for each Maelstrom weapon stack generated. Primal Maelstrom will make every cast of P-Wave generate us 10 stacks of Maelstrom weapon immediately. Splintered Elements, which will buff our Primordial Wave to make our next Lightning Bolt cast, gives us a haste buff, 20% base plus 4% for each extra Lightning Bolt generated, and these extra ones are generated by each enemy affected by Flame Shock. Awesome! Again, I highly suggest you guys to read all of the talents, and if you need help with anything, feel free to leave a question on the comment section below. I'll be happy to answer. And just for reference, this is my current talents tree. Most of the spec tree is mandatory on the right side for this build, but on the left side feel free to play with some talents. For example, this week I'm running hacks to help my party with the incorporeal affix and Earth Grab Totem for Spiteful. Also, you can go with Poison Glisten Totem for dungeons with poison mechanics, for example Dark Heart or Everbloom. The import code will be on the description of the video. And now, last but not least, let's cover the rotation. We open with P-Wave and Wolves. We then proceed to Lava Lash the enemy affected by the Flame Shock debuff, and will be spread for at least 5 enemies. We then cast Lightning Bolt, which due to splintered elements will give us a nice haste buff. And now we got a 10 stacks buff for Hailstorm, which will make our next Frost Shock hit 150% harder and hit more enemies. Then we cast an Ice Strike, further improving our Frost Shock damage, and finally we cast Frost Shock. Then we go for Crash Lightning for its buff, making our builders hit multiple targets. And then we keep building Maelstrom weapon stacks. When we reach 8 to 10, we spend on Chain Lightning here due to the amount of enemies and no priority one. Pay attention, we have no fixed rotation besides this opener, and we should be trying to follow this priority list. Now, an example for single target rotation. Only few things change here. Your spenders now will be Elemental Blast when you're sitting on 2 charges, or if you have your Wolfies active, or else you'll be spending on Lightning Bolt. Also, if it is a 1 mob encounter only, like a boss, we prior Storm Strike over Crash Lightning, as it will deal more damage and we won't be able to get a Crash Lightning buff. But if it is a pool with a priority target, for example, you should be looking to Crash Lightning for buff uptime and use your single target spenders on your prior target. And for this type of counter, it's for example the very first pull on Dark Heart, where we get the big bear and a lot of small mobs. And that's it, friends, for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please leave a comment below if you like it or not. If you have a question or not, I'll be happy to answer. Okay, see you guys later. Bye.